Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my shop today. We're going to be building a planter box. It's about 3 foot long and maybe 18 inches wide or so for out by the subscriber garden. Don't go spend $50, $60, $80, $100 for these fancy planter boxes if money's tight. I got my fence pickets, my 6-inch wide fence pickets when I built my fence was, they were $1.96 a piece, and one 4x4, it was pieces left over from the fence. But if you were to go buy one of the 4x4s right now, I think it was $8 at my big box store. So it's gonna take 2 or 3 of the fence pickets, one of the 4x4s. So for $12 or so, you can put together a nice box. It's holding dirt, okay? It's not rocket surgery. You're holding dirt to be able to plant seeds in it. So let's try to keep it inexpensive. So let's get this rolling. And behind me, I have my fence pickets and my 4x4s. Let's take some measurements and talk about what we're doing. Okay, so what we're doing is I have 2 pieces of leftover 4x4. These are going to be the corner pieces. So we're going to 21, 22. Okay. So what I'm going to do is half of 21 is 10 and a half. I'm going to mark my piece there. I'm going to mark this one at 10 and a half also, and then mark this one at 21. Okay? That way, they're each going to be equal size. So when I stand them up for the corners and I attach my boards, they're going to be the same height. I have a couple of pieces that are about 5 inches long that were left over from the fencing. These will be the inside braces for the long portion where the 2 boards sit on top of each other, and this will just brace them so that they don't separate and crack. So they're just supports. Here are, I have 3 of my fence pickets here, and I'm going to cut these directly in half. I don't care about the dog ear. I'm not going to cut that off because I don't want to lose that. I'm just going to pre-drill when I attach to my 4x4s. So that's okay. I don't care if there's the dog ears there. That doesn't bother me in the least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these. Well, I'm not going to do that one because that's going to be different. But these 2 here are going to be cut in half. They should be 6 feet, but they're going to be probably a little bit over, I would guess. And they are. They're just a hair over 6 feet. So I will come back to my 3 feet, 36 inches, and I will put a mark. I don't care if they're not perfectly square. It's going to hold dirt. It's not a structure. It's not a home. Okay. It's not an artistic piece. It's literally cutting it basically in half. So let me get these cut, and then I'm going to probably cut this one at 18 inches because that way that's going to leave me. So I'm going to go 18, and then another 18. If I can figure this out here. It's early. I am struggling with math this morning, so I can just flip this around. Okay. So what that's going to do for me is going to give me 18, 18, 18, 18. Okay. How does that sound? Okay, so let's get these cut. I'm not going to do that on camera. It is very loud. So be right back. Okay, my boards are cut. Let's see what we got going on. But one thing to always remember is safety glasses. When you're using power tools, table saw, my chop saw. Remember, safety third. Safety third. It's very important. Let's get this thing put together. So, that said, I have my pieces. Okay. So, I'm just going to lay out my 4x4s. I got my little 4x4 chunks here. I'm going to put my first piece here. I'm just going to square the edges up. They're square enough for me. Always, always, always. I always pre-drill. But you do you. If you don't want to pre-drill, don't. If you want to crack the boards, which I'll probably do anyways, you go right on ahead. That didn't work out right, did it? All right. Uno. Okay. Take my second board. Like I said, I don't care about the dog ears. They're right there. I don't care. I'm not going to waste wood by cutting that off and moving it back an inch. Okay. This is going to be over the 4x4. These are not 12 inches. They're about, what, 10 and a half or whatever they were. I don't care. It's a planter box. Okay. I suppose I should probably make sure that piece is together over here. All right. Slide this down a little bit. Now I'm back on the other side here. Problem with pickets are they are warped a lot of times, so you do have to pull in on them with the clamps. Okay, so let's get that squared up at the bottom. Boom. Okay. I think that clamp has seen better days. What we have there, excuse me one second. Shimona. Apologize for that, excuse me, had to sneeze. There's one side. Like I said, I'm not going to waste the time to put this on my table saw and rip this the whole length. It's a waste of time. I don't care that it's an inch higher than the 4x4. That just means I can hold more soil. Let's put that on the ground. And let's just duplicate that process. 4x4, check. 4x4, check. Picket, check. Being awesome, check. The reason I am a huge supporter of pre-drilling is because I have in my past, excuse me, been building something, especially furniture, and you get to the last piece of lumber that you're attaching and you're in a hurry, and you decided, I can't take the extra 32.5 seconds to pre-drill something. And guess what? The piece breaks. Yeah, it does. So, I'm going to clamp these two to begin with this time. And you can see already I'm tight here. I have a gap and a gap. So I'm just going to split the difference. I don't care. Like I said, it's going to hold dirt, okay? Somebody, quick, ask me if I care. I don't. So this will give me both sides. There we go. Two sides, no waiting. Just like that. Now let's try to spin this, see if this will work here. So now what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can get that to get the whole thing in the shot. Yes. So I have my little braces here. This is what I use for my table saw. Just clamp this here so this doesn't push back on me. And the same thing with this one. I can set this one up here. Boom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my end pieces. Pre-drill. I'll start my hardware. Like so. Then I have a free hand. I don't have to worry about trying to. Then I'm just going to square this up at the edge, square it up at the bottom. Boom, boom. Just like that. Now I can bring this other one out because I don't need to. Now I got all these extra hands here. That's what's great about having clamps and tools that you can use. And I'm just going to pre-drill. Got two more of my screws here. Get them started. Grab my clamp. Now, you can see I'm going to bring this together. I'll get it so everything's squared up with the other one as good as I can. It's only got to be close. Like I said, I'm not that concerned if it's not perfectly square. It is a planter box. Okay. I am happy with that. Okay. Take that clamp off. Back over and clamp my other piece. Use one of my other clamps. Clamp my other piece. There. Got to get myself some more hardware. Now that I got it all clamped and pretty much squared up, I can go through, re-drill all the rest of the holes. There we have it. That's one side. So let me get this flipped around and we'll start on the other side. Other end, I should say. Okay, so what you can see is I've already clamped, right? My other end piece. Now I can come in and I can pre-drill. Then I can put my second piece on, put my braces on the inside, and we'll take it out and set it in place. So let's do this. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking one of my leftover pieces and I'm putting them in here, okay? And all that's going to do is create some strength here between these two pieces that are split. I'm not worried about it being in the center, perfectly square, whatever, yada yada. This is literally just to help support the center a little bit. I'm not measuring for center. I'm doing it by eye, okay? Do be careful because I'm using shorter deck screws. They do come through a little bit on the inside. I don't care. But just be sure not to have your hand in the way, because remember, safety third. Safety third here at Okies Eden. Okay, what we have now is, check this out. I have a approximately 3 foot by 1.5 foot or 18-inch planter box. And it's about 11 inches tall. This is going to hold a nice volume of soil. So let's walk this out, put it in place, and then I'm going to make more of these later today, and I'll start setting them around near the subscriber garden and get that finished up. Just another thought before I do that is you can do this very simply. You don't have to have expensive power tools. I could have just had a really simple skill saw. I could have done this with a regular screwdriver if I wanted to, whatever. I could have just glued it and clamped it because the wood glues today are amazing. I did it with wood screws because this is eventually going to rot and decompose. When it does, other than the 4x4s here, these will become compost. So I can just unscrew everything, toss it in the pile, let it decompose. And it goes back to the earth. So with that said, let's walk this around, and just remember, this took me probably 15 minutes. I pre-cut everything. It took longer because it's on camera, but if I wasn't filming this, I can make these in about 15-20 minutes each. So it doesn't take a lot of time, and it's fun. And we'll see you outside in a minute where I'm going to set it. Okay, so there it is. You can see my different planter boxes, subscriber garden, and my new planter box I just built in about 15 minutes for about $12. Let's get this baby filled up with some dirt and get ready to plant in the spring.